Coming up on this edition of the Center of It All, we talk to a local business owner who recently appeared on the Food Network. I get fitted into my perfect pair of running shoes at Rapid Transit, and Mel is grilling up the flavors of the Southwest. These stories and a whole lot more coming up next on the Center of It All. Hello and welcome to the Center of It All. We're in downtown State College taking a walking tour of the public arts, which I'll have more details on next episode. But first, Fatos owner David Letterman recently appeared on the Food Network for his unique recipes. We met up with him at his restaurant to talk about his experience. Local restaurant owner David Letterman is no stranger to TV cameras. The owner of Fatos in Bellefonte appeared on the Food Network TV series Food Fortunes last month to pitch the judges his spicy ice cream, appropriately named Spice Cream.
Spice Cream is an infusion of all-natural premium vanilla ice cream with our award-winning fruit-based hot sauces. And I have 3 different varieties: Rolling Berry Blast Off, which has a raspberry hot sauce and chocolate-covered peanut butter cups; Sweet Peachy Heat Wave, which has our peach hot sauce and granola; and Jumping Jack Apple Splash, which has our apple pepper jack hot sauce and pecans.
Food Fortunes is similar to the popular show Shark Tank, but with food inventions and creations like David's Spice Cream. David pitched his idea and asked for financial support in exchange for a stake in his business. The panel members did not take Letterman up on his offer, but David said this experience wasn't about the money.
I wasn't looking just for money. I was looking for somebody who could, partner up and use their experience and their expertise that got them where they were with my product. But the backside of that was going to get exposure, so that was great too.
Before his days in the dairy business, David opened the current location of Fatos and started making different types of wing sauce. Their sauces can be found on a number of their menu items.
We have an apple pepper jack burger, which we use the apple pepper jack sauce and with cheddar cheese, red onion, and that's a really good burger. Barbecue sauce with our barbecue menu, so we use it there. And of course our original and Fire in the Hole. We use them all on wings, and just try to incorporate them into different specials and things too.
David and his wife Sherry also take their hot sauces to wing shows, like the Blue White Wing Challenge that they won 4 years in a row.
We've been doing the sauces for about 6 years and won a lot of awards. It's great sauce because it has great flavor too.
These competitions are where they first started sampling out their Spice Cream. People were so surprised by the ice cream that their reaction gave David the idea for his slogan.
Before I had it packaged, we were just sampling it out, and people just stopped and say, "What is this?" And I would tell them, and they said, "Well, who would have thought that?" And so that's why our tagline was "Who'da Thunk It," because it is something that really isn't available anywhere.
Since his TV debut, people have been flocking into the restaurant to try out this fiery dessert.
We do have regulars that have come in and tried it. We just had a group last night of new customers that heard about it and tried it for the first time, and they really liked it. So yeah, we do a lot of sampling here as well.
David's 15 minutes of fame on the Food Network hasn't changed him. He plans to take a break from being a mad scientist for a little while and focus on perfecting his restaurant and products.
We're going to continue to, just stay on the course we are, go to shows like we have been, try to grow the sauce, maintain the business, and with the Spice Cream, I really think that I'm going to see if I can team up with somebody that manufactures it already.
Intrigued? You can find Fatos wing sauce and Spice Cream at your local Wise Markets and Wegmans. It's so nice to see a hardworking local business owner get national attention for his recipes. Now when we come back on the Center of It All, Andrew Callista is doing strength training for his golf season, and I'm getting fitted into running shoes for my next race. And how about this chair? Welcome back. Andrew Callista is working on his golf game again this week with some strength training over at Victory Fitness.
What's up, guys? Andrew Calista back with another golf training story. Last week we showed you the golf simulator up at Penn State, but this week I'm over at Victory Sports with Scott Everhart, who's TPI certified in golf performing fitness. This is what you want if you want to take your game to another level. And Scott, you ready to put me through a workout?
Let's do it, Andrew.
All right, let's start it.
All right, Andrew, the first exercise we're going to do is called a medicine ball figure eight. All you're going to do, you're going to get an athletic stance. You're going to draw your stomach in. Just make a nice big figure eight. And this is a core exercise. We use this to train some of the intrinsic muscles. We want to hit about 20 reps here. So first phase, we're just going to make a big 8 pattern. Stomach is in, hips are back. He's doing a good job keeping his lower half relatively still. All right, now let's get those hips turning. Rotate the hips, turn the hips. Bend your knees, keep your knees bent. Now start to pivot on that outside foot. Pivot. Because in golf, you want to train, in training, you want to work the dominant side and the non-dominant side of your body to help develop some athleticism. It's another core exercise, and this focuses on glute activation. And I'm just going to use this little yellow band. I'm going to put it around your feet. About shoulder width apart, Andrew. Bend your knees. So athletic stance, you're going to take your foot. You're going to move that foot out about 2 to 3 inches and bring it right back in. Let's alternate right leg, left leg. So you want to do about 6 on each leg. Doesn't take a lot. You should start to feel this in your butt.
Oh, I'm feeling it.
Got it? It's a great exercise to help activate your glutes. So Andrew, the next exercise I have for you is a stability exercise with a rotation element. You want to stand on one leg at a time. You want to hold tension in every muscle in your leg. Stomach is in, smashing that ball together. Good posture here. Squeeze your back together.
So kind of like it's the takeaway.
Right.
On the swing.
Correct, the load. And we just want to rotate back to the left. Trying to keep everything very, very still below the waist. Holding tension throughout the leg. Stability is probably one of the most important elements of training for a golfer, and also one of the most overlooked. So the next exercise we're going to do is a stabilization exercise, mostly the upper body, but we're going to take a band, get a nice athletic stance again. Okay, so hips are back, good posture through your back. Interlock your fingers around the handle, retract those shoulder blades, and then stick your hands straight out in front of you. Try not to let the band waver your hands from the midline of your body. You just want to hold them as still as possible for about 10 seconds, okay? Harder than it looks, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So if I want to make it a little harder on you, just tap those hands in either direction, trying to annoy them a little bit. It makes it just so much harder, keeping that stomach as tight as possible.
Scott, thanks a lot for the great workout. I know I could use some work more in my core and my glutes. They're really feeling it right now as well.
Glad you enjoyed it, Andrew. It was fun.
Hey, and if you're not too tired watching at home, check Victory Sports and Fitness out on their Facebook page.
Oh. You did miss the wall.
Earlier in the week, I stopped by Rapid Transit, where they've been fitting people in the right pair of shoes for over 30 years. I'm an avid runner, and now that the weather is nice, I run about 6 days a week. And all those miles can really do some damage on your feet and legs if you're not equipped with the proper pair of running shoes. Terry Loesch has been fitting runners in their shoes for over 30 years. He explained to me that every time you run, you want your feet to be in a neutral motion.
The main principle of weight-bearing exercise, whether it's running, basketball, tennis, anything weight-bearing, you want to keep the maximum stress centered on the 3 largest muscle groups you have, your quads, your hamstring, and your calves. Now, there's only one way to do that. You have to be mechanically neutral.
There are 3 different foot structures. Some people do have a normal arch and a mechanically neutral foot. Others have a high rigid arch that tends to roll to the outside of the foot. Or you have a low flexible arch that tends to roll to the inside or medial side of the foot.
You have to know what your foot structure is, and then you have to know the structure of the shoe. So what is your foot structure?
Last time I checked, I was a pronation foot structure.
So you were moderately overpronating.
Yes.
Which means that your arch is flexible and it rolls to the medial side, the inside. So then that would be your foot type, and we need to get you back to there with the right shoe.
I moderately pronate when I run. To correct this and bring me back to neutral motion, I need a supportive shoe that will stabilize my foot.
You have a Mizuno shoe on. Now I'm going to show you a Mizuno shoe that's made for a really high arched foot, and then one that's made for the over-pronating low arched foot. Could you tell the difference?
I can try. Terry threw a challenge my way to see if I could match the right shoe with each foot structure. This is the pronating shoe and this is the supinating shoe.
You have it totally wrong.
What? That's crazy.
And now you're going to be crippled.
Jeez. So after I failed that test, Terry got me up and running to make sure my Mizuno shoes are doing their job of stabilizing my flexible arches.
Watching you run, I don't think you have enough forefoot cushion, and I think it's straining your foot a little when you push through.
Aside from foot structure, you also need to look at the initial impact zone to decide where you need more cushion. So do you think a lot of people start out and try to become a runner, they have the wrong shoes and they think, well, it must be my body.
It's me. I hear it every day. I'm not meant to be a runner. I can't run. My knees hurt every time I do. So I've given up. I'm on the elliptical in whatever shoe it is that they ordered.
People are all about brand loyalty, but there's a common misconception that one brand is better than any other.
Every company makes the full range from neutral shoes to really, really stiff supportive shoes. Every company makes them. So is there an Asics running shoe for you? Yes. Is there a Mizuno one? Yes. Are there two Mizunos right here that would not work? Yes. So we have a lot of people that come in and they'll say what you say, oh, I can't wear this brand. I can't wear anything that Saucony makes because you had the wrong one. So it's not a brand thing. It's a mechanical thing.
And who knows more about the mechanics of running than Terry? So stop into Rapid Transit before you start your training regimen and you'll be running more miles with ease. I never knew there was so much that went into the perfect pair of running shoes. Now when we come back, Mel has got a cheeseburger recipe she's been perfecting for years. Welcome back to the center of it all. Mel is firing up the grill on this edition of Kitchen Encounters with a Southwest-inspired cheeseburger.
For me, the only thing that tastes better than a thick, juicy burger hot off the grill is a thick, juicy cheeseburger hot off the grill. I'm cooking for me today, and today I'm making my favorite twist on the traditional cheeseburger. I'm putting the cheese in the meat instead of on top of the burger, and I'm spicing things up too. You're gonna love my chili cheddar cheeseburgers with chili lime mayonnaise. Cha-cha-cha. Let's get started. I've got 5 pounds of lean ground beef in a nice big bowl. Now I'm using 85-15, which means it's about 15% fat, because you need to have some fat in your meat in order to get a nice juicy cheeseburger. I'm going to add a tablespoon of salt and a tablespoon of coarsely cracked black pepper and 2 tablespoons of chili powder, preferably Mexican style chili powder. Next thing I'm going to add 2 cups of minced cilantro and 2 cups of diced onion. Now, putting onion in the burger is going to add a lot of extra moisture to the burgers, but if you really don't like onions in your burgers, that's an ingredient you don't have to put in. Now, I'm adding a pound of jalapeno pepper jack cheddar cheese. I love this stuff. Okay, now take off your jewelry, girls, because you're going to have to stick your hands into this to mix it and just go after it. I've got a nice big ball of well-mixed meat. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you for a minute. I'm going to go wash my hands, and when I come back, we're going to form the burgers. Hands are clean, and I formed my meat mixture into 8-ounce balls. Now, I used a kitchen scale to do that, but you can pretty much eyeball that if you want. Now, I'm using a 4-inch ring mold because that's the size I want my burgers to be. And I'm going to place them inside the ring mold. I said thick and juicy, and I meant it. And that's pretty much how I make sure that I get a really, really big, thick burger. I'm just going to keep doing this with all of them. Weighing the portions and using a ring mold to form them is really going to go a long way to make sure that every cheeseburger cooks to the desired doneness all at the same time. All of the burgers are formed, and I'm just going to set these aside for about 5 minutes until I make my chili lime mayonnaise. And once these go out on the grill, you're going to put them over medium-high heat for about 8 to 10 minutes per side, depending on how you like them done. Medium rare, rare, or well cooked. 8 to 10 minutes per side pretty much does it. With the aid of a food processor or blender, the chili lime mayonnaise goes together in a flash. I'm going to start by putting 1.5 cups of mayonnaise in the work bowl of my processor. I'm going to add 1.5 cups of minced cilantro, a well-drained jar of, a 12-ounce jar of well-drained pickled jalapeno peppers, 2 tablespoons of lime juice, which is the juice of 1 fresh lime if it's really juicy, and 2 teaspoons of sugar. Put the lid on, and we're going to process this, there we go, for about 30 seconds. Done. I'm going to take the lid off the processor, remove the steel blade, and I'm just going to transfer all of my mayonnaise to a cup. This is going to make about 3 cups. And I'm going to put this, cover it, put it in the refrigerator to chill while I'm making the cheeseburgers, because this is going to thicken up while it's in the refrigerator.
So the Patriots were at the White House yesterday, and the president made
the things I do for my wife.
If you're a lover of the bold flavors of the American Southwest, my cheeseburgers are going to take you on a trip south of the border. Olé! For these and all of my recipes, just go to my website.
How about Joe looking good out on that grill? Now when we come back on the center of it all, we check out the new flea market in town. Welcome back. Our area has another spot to buy local. Opened just a few weeks ago, we stopped by the Happy Valley Flea Market. The location of the old Starlight Drive-In is being put to good use. You may not be able to see a movie there anymore, but you may be able to purchase a VHS. The lot located on Benner Pike is now the spot for the Happy Valley Flea Market.
My husband's been a fan of flea markets ever since he was young, growing up in Harrisburg, and oftentimes he passed this location and talk about how good of a flea market venue it would be.
Jaya and her husband opened the flea market as a family business and held their grand opening on Blue White Weekend.
We had a little over 50 vendors for our Saturday. Sunday was a little less, at around 30 or so, but it was well received by all the vendors. Everyone, enjoyed the atmosphere, and we really had a good time. We had a great turnout in State College, so we were grateful for that.
Just a couple weeks old, the market can hold up to 177 vendors and has just about anything you can think of.
On average, you can find a variety of things, from antiques, we have produce, we have flowers, we have scarves, we have furniture, we have a variety of things for people to enjoy. Currently, we're working on getting different vendors in here so we can broaden our options.
The Happy Valley Flea Market is just another opportunity for local vendors and farmers to sell their products.
I think in general it's bringing us closer, as with any community effort. I think it brings us closer. It gives our local, vendors and farmers an opportunity to showcase what they have, and I think that it's making us a better community overall.
The flea market is opened every Saturday and Sunday from April to October. And starting in May, we'll be open Fridays for the farmers market. Visit happyvalleyfleamarket.com for more information. Well, that's all for this episode. Next time on the Center of It All, we take a closer look at the public arts in downtown State College. Thanks for joining and have a great week.